Plaintiff Frank Io says he and his fiancée placed an ad looking for a roommate, and the defendant answered their ad and moved into their home. Frank claims after the defendant lost her job, she started partying excessively and stopped paying the rent, so he's suing. Defendant Amanda Fonts denies that she ever had parties at Frank's home and insists she was never in anybody's way and often spent time in her room. Amanda claims Frank knew she could not afford to pay the rent, but he still let her stay there. So she does not believe she should have to pay.
Tell me how she owes you.
For the last few years, I've been going through a custody battle, and acquired some debt. So my fiance and I decided, we needed some extra cash to try to squash those debts. It basically came down to two options. Option A was to donate a kidney, or option B was to acquire a roommate. So obviously we went with option B. Placed an ad in Craigslist in the summer of 2008, and August of 2008, Miss Amanda Fonts was the one that responded. She liked the room, so she moved in August. And even though she's young, she's 21 years old, and at the time,
You said she's young, but she's ready.
Well, yeah.
I mean, to move in, to live alone.
Is that what you meant?
Yeah, to live alone.
I wouldn't say those words, Your Honor. But she was young, but she seemed responsible. She was working a full-time job. Exactly.
All right. And what was the agreement?
The agreement was $450 a month, which was working great. She was working full-time.
Okay, ma'am. Why don't you give me some background before we get into the specifics of what happened?
Well, to be honest, Your Honor, I was currently at the time living with my sister. I was going to be moving out. I needed a place to stay within a few short days.
Were you working?
Yes,
okay.
I was currently working full time. I came across Craigslist. I had never been out on my complete own, so didn't really know how to go about it. Found Frank and his fiance's ad on Craigslist. Called, spoke with his fiance, went, checked out the room, liked it, and moved in.
$450 a month?
$450 a month for one room and shared bath.
All right. Good enough. Go ahead and tell me what happened.
Your Honor, everything went great at the beginning, but around October 2008, unfortunately, Amanda was laid off from her job. From that point forward, I started seeing a different side of her. She loved to party. And, my fiance and I, we work full time.
She began doing that after losing her job.
Yeah,
partying away the pain.
Mm-hmm. Before, exactly.
That's what a lot of people do. People are always critical of unemployed and poor people because of their drug and alcohol use. Part of that is trying to cover up that internal pain.
Sure.
The drug and alcohol abuse is going to increase now with all this unemployment. People are going to try and drink away their problems.
Yeah, definitely.
Smoke their problems away. But how'd you get money to buy alcohol and weed if you didn't have money to pay your rent? How are you doing all that partying?
That, Your Honor, is incorrect. At the house, I never had parties. I would never have a large group of people over. I was never in anybody's way. When I was in the house, I was in fact in my room. When
Drunk.
I came out, pardon?
Drunk?
No.
Oh, okay. No. You didn't change after losing your job?
In the sense of myself and what I do?
Your behavior?
No.
Where do you think he's getting this from? He's just making it up?
No, due to the fact of when I was working full time, there was never the chance to actually get to know one another in the house, and I was never home. Okay. In fact, when I got laid off, I'm going to be home more. My schedule's not going to be the same. I'm not waking up at 9 o'clock in the morning and drinking till dark. No.
Okay. And the impression you believe he has came from the fact that you were probably sleeping later?
Due to the fact of sleeping later, or for instance, when we did have...
Well, you start sleeping like 10 or 12 hours?
No, not at all. I would get up.
What time?
9 o'clock in the morning.
And go to bed at 10 p.m. and wake up at 10 a.m.?
Yeah, maybe 10 o'clock at night. Yeah, but
so you were
during the day,
12 hours.
During the day,
that
no.
was some good stuff you had. Go ahead, sir. Let's get to this rent. Just having fun. Let's get to the rent. What months does she owe you for?
She owes me for the months of, in November of 2008, she did give me $100. So she owes $350 from November, $450 for December, and December 30th, I gave her a 30-day notice. So she also owes for the month of January for a total sum of $1,250. December of 2008, I gave her a letter, which was a 30-day notice, and it also stated the exact dollar amount that she owed, and she acknowledged it and signed it and agreed to
She acknowledged $1,250?
She acknowledged the $1,250.
Right. Ma'am?
And I have that letter here.
And also, in the letter, it does not state at all that I was going to be paying the $1,250. It stated the fact of...
You had changed your mind about your rent?
No.
Well,
just the fact
you
that
have to pay?
Eviction, in my aspect, granted, when you owe money, you owe money. But in any situation that I've looked at in renting at apartments, when you go in, you put a deposit down or you pay your first and last month's rent. When you're in the agreement, if you happen not to pay, they give you a 30-day notice after that first month. You're out, you're home, they're out their money.
Oh, so if you live somewhere and then move without paying, you never have to pay for the time you live there.
No, I do understand and I do feel deeply bad. But with the situation that I was in, I don't feel it was completely my fault when you continuously let me live there. Yeah, I had, the thought of wanting going to be paying you the money. I did, in fact, and I still do. But my situation...
If a landlord waits a few months before, because out of the goodness of his heart, he waits a few months before he evicts you, your defense is, well, he let me stay there and he didn't put me out, so I should know. That's what you think?
I'm not that type of a person, no, but...
Well, tell me what you're saying then, because that's what I'm getting from you.
Just my situation. I did get laid off, and in fact, until this day, I'm still not currently working. I had verbally told him, yeah, I would, when I came up with money, I would start paying off the debt. So now you agree that you owe all the months?
No, not necessarily. We keep going back and forth, and I'm really just trying to understand your logic, because you owe whether you think you do or not. You owe for every single month that you lived in this man's house, and you have not paid him. Therefore, his judgment is $1,250. Have a good day.
Thank you, Your Honor.
He had a birthday party for his fiance, Wild Times, an environment I had never actually been in. At the time, being my age, yeah, I had drank previous, but the fact of the whole situation and what I was in, I lived there. It was my house too, and I was a part of it, but I don't know. I felt forced.